to a new video of Astrologer. Elevate your thinking. We're going to be speaking about planets relationship. And we're going to start out because I already did Venus through signs and I'm working on Saturn through signs. Let's do the relationship with Venus and Saturn. And in this video we're going to be discussing when it's conjunct, when it's mutually aspecting each other, or let's say Saturn is aspecting Venus, and their common, how they communicate, how they interact. Are they good? Are they enemy? Are they friendly planets to one another? Now, Venus and Saturn are friendly planets. They're friendly to each other. They like each other. Why? Because Saturn, as you know, represents work, your work discipline. Saturn is a machine. Venus is love. Venus is relationship. Venus is passion. Venus is creativity. So when these two interact, let's say in conjunction, Venus and Saturn, a person loves what they do in life. Their work, they love their work. But here's that's for Saturn side. But for Venus, Venus feels kind of trouble. In the beginning. Why? Because Venus is relationship, Saturn is restriction, Saturn is time. Saturn takes a long time. Saturn wants you to work through it. So what happened with Saturn when it comes in conjunction with Venus, it restricts a native from forming a relationship. It breaks a lot of relationship for the native until the person becomes mature, until the person knows how to work with relationship. That's when the relationship will blossom and it will last a long time. So yes, early on, relationship will be a struggle. But in the long run, they're going to find somebody. When they become realistic, they'll find somebody who is compatible with them, who's the right spouse for them, who's either mature or older than them. And the relationship will last a long time. So yes, that's why these two planets like each other. Venus, imagine you in relationship, Venus, right? Venus want to be in relationship. But the thing, if they don't receive the aspect of Saturn, a person could go from relationship after relationship and don't really know how to compromise in a relationship. What Saturn brings to Venus is the ability to compromise. The person becomes committed to the relationship until even death do them apart. And if it's mutually aspecting, it's actually very similar to if it was conjunct. And very soon, I'm gonna do a series of explaining aspects, each planet's aspect and what they mean, because in this video I'm gonna speak about Saturn aspect, and some of you guys might not be familiar with aspects in astrology, so I have to make videos about what the aspects of each planet means. Because planets, an aspect is when a planet looks at a certain house, another house, and if a planet is sitting in the other house, that planet will be affected from the planet that's aspecting that house. Mutually aspecting means when two planets are looking at each other, and this causes a certain type of reaction, a certain type of cause. So Saturn holds the third aspect from where it sits at, the 7th aspect from where it sits at, and it holds the 10 aspects from where it sits at. So let's say Saturn is in the ascendant, right? It will aspect the 3rd house, the 7th house, and the 10th house. You just gotta count the 1st house from where Saturn sits at. That counts as 1 house, and then you count the 2nd house. That's the 2nd one, and then the 3rd house from where Saturn is at, and that's the 3rd house. But let's say Saturn was in the 2nd house. That means you gotta, Saturn 3rd aspect will be towards the 4th house. 7th aspect of Saturn, if it's sitting in the 2nd house, will be in the 8th house. And the 10th aspect of Saturn, if it's sitting in the second house, will be towards the 11th house. Now, Saturn third aspect is about efforts. It's about effort. Saturn 7 aspect is about relationship. In every planet, when it looks at the 7th place away from it, it's trying to relate towards that house. It's trying to give its quality towards that house. That's for any planet, because every planet contains a 7th aspect. It's trying to relate. And Saturn 10th aspect, from wherever it sits, shows that it needs to rise up and that it needs to work hard towards that house in order to receive some sort of reputation, some sort of recognition. So, let's say Saturn is in the 3rd house. And let's use Saturn 3rd aspect as an example, the first one. And Venus is sitting in the 5th house of romance. Saturn is looking at Venus. So this means that a person needs to put so much effort in order for them to receive romance in life. They need to work hard. They need to put a lot of attention, especially if it's a guy. They need to put a lot of attention to the female in order for them to receive some sort of romance, and so in order for the relationship to work. If Saturn looks at Venus with its 3rd aspect, that means you need to put a lot of effort in relationship. If you don't put effort, if you don't put enough effort, the relationship is going to die out. It's not going to work out. So if you have this, make sure to add effort. If Saturn is looking at Venus, and Venus is 7 places away from Saturn, let's say Venus now is in the 9th house, that means they're mutually aspecting each other. So this means Venus is throwing its quality towards Saturn. So now the person, they love what they do. If Saturn doesn't receive the aspect of Venus, then Saturn don't feel like it loves what it's doing unless it receives the aspect of Venus. And anytime Saturn aspects Venus, it shows a lot of fear and anxiety. The person is scared to be in a relationship, especially if Saturn and Venus are conjunct together. It shows a lot of fear and anxiety because they don't know if it's going to work out now. So anytime Saturn and Venus are together, a person needs to work towards a relationship. That's the main thing. That's the main key. And they need to be realistic. They need to be vulnerable to the T. Because if they're not being real, Saturn wants real. Saturn wants something that's honest, that's faithful, that is true. And if that is not there, then the relationship will break. The universe will break it. If you don't do your role by being the most realist person you could be, being the most openest person you could be, Saturn will just separate you two. So yeah, it's all about working hard in relationship. And if Venus is looking at Saturn, it's all about loving what you do for a living. Alright? Thank you for watching Astrologer. Elevate your thinking. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe for much more video of astrology, spirituality, and philosophy. This channel will keep growing. Thank you for watching, guys, and to the next one.